Hi guys, today we are here to chat all about high-end concealers and the ones that I love the best in my opinion and what I think is worth the money. If you're looking to save but not give up any quality, I will link to my top drugstore concealers video down below. These are all products that I think can be used either for your under eye, spot concealing, and correcting. We're going to chat about price and how much product you get because that can always vary a lot in concealers. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and if you're curious about my makeup, I will link to the video that I show a demo of how I get this look, and all the products will of course be listed down below. Let's get into it. From NARS, it is their Radiant Creamy Concealer. This one I wear in the shade medium to ginger. I'm about an NC42 at MAC if you are curious to kind of match yourself. I love this one for under the eyes. It gives amazing coverage and this shade on me is just perfect. It is brightening enough that it gives a nice lightness under the eyes, but sometimes if you go too light with a concealer, it can look kind of gray and ashy, and this does not do that for me. You get a doe foot applicator in here, and it retails for $30 American, 36 Canadian. You get 6 milliliters in here, or 0.22 ounces, and it has a doe foot applicator, although I think I just said that. It has 16 different shades as well, which I think is phenomenal. They look to go quite light up to very deep, and there are 2 shades in travel size as well. I have not dabbled in those at all, but in my research I came across that on the Sephora website. I think it could work for dry to oily skin. If you do have oily skin, it's not something I would recommend maybe like highlighting your whole face with, but I do love it under the eye, and when you set it, it does stay in place. This is something that I reached for when I was either wanting my makeup to last for a long time or I was heading out at night. So I really love this one. I absolutely will repurchase it, and I just think that it is a beautiful option, and if it's empty, that means I had to have loved it. From MAC, I think that this was a staple for a lot of people for a long time, and I've actually repurchased this, which again speaks volumes to how much I love this. In these swatches that I'm showing you, I have NC30, which is something that I purchased for under my eyes, which I probably just should have got like NC35, which is what I used to wear under my eyes all the time. Like I wore this straight for a year. And then I also purchased NC42, which is my actual shade. I bought this to spot conceal. However, I do find that I don't love it for spot concealing. It doesn't play nicely under foundation for me anyways, especially under powder foundation. I ended up very blotchy at times, but what I do use this for, or I used to anyways, was to mix this in with a moisturizer and treat it like a tinted moisturizer or a very light foundation, which is something that you can do if you don't wear foundation all the time. You could totally go this route. As with most MAC products, you're getting a great shade range in there. You've got 16 different shades. It retails for $22 American and for $26 Canadian, and I've had to try this a million times, so I'm just going to look at my cheat sheet here and tell you there's 9 milliliters in here, or 0.3 fluid ounces. You get it in this glass bottle, and for me, I've never broken it, but because I just said that, I probably will. But I have seen it shatter on some people. I've seen some very sad photos of concealer just everywhere. My issue with it is just that the pump is hard to control, so you get a lot of product out there. You either have to put it on your fingers and you've got too much product, you put it on your hand and you lose it. You could put it on a palette. Some people actually pump this out into a jar, so that is a route that you could go. But this is a very hardcore concealer, very long lasting, dries matte, and it has a very full coverage. Also from MAC is their Studio Fix Conceal and Perfect palette. I loved the Studio Fix, just the pot concealer, for years. I think it was the first high-end concealer I ever got. This one is in the shade medium deep, and in here you're getting 6 different concealers. Retails for $40 American and 48 Canadian. So you've got the NC40, NW40, NC42, NW43, Rich Yellow, which is this one here of course, and then Burnt Coral. You're getting 6 grams of product in here, or 0.21 ounces, and this is just so versatile. Because you've got the shades that you can use to spot conceal, you've got shades that you can use to highlight under your eyes, and then of course you've got the correctors in there. If you want to contour, you could always use the deepest shade. It's not like the most blendable, but you can definitely make it work as long as you're using it on top of a foundation that is a liquid foundation. You can even spray your face with a setting spray or some kind of like like rose water or something if you want to help it blend, use a beauty blender, that kind of thing. But I just absolutely love this. I reached for the corrector a ton. You're probably not going to be able to tell in my close-up shots, but there's definitely like a divot in that shade. It is great, just so versatile, and it's a little bit of a thicker consistency. If you're familiar with the MAC Studio Fix concealer, that is what is in this palette here, and I just really, really love it. You've got 4 different options for shades. There's light, medium, medium deep, and then also a dark. And then of course, because there's 6 different shades in here, you just have so much to play with, whether you want to go all those routes with spot concealing, highlighting, concealing, correcting, all that kind of stuff. Or if you are a makeup artist or someone whose skin tone drastically changes from summer to winter, that makes this really, really nice to have. From Mary Kay, although it is not like a completely high-end brand, it's not available at the drugstore and costs 16 bucks, which, I mean, some products at the drugstore are getting up there now anyways, but I do want to mention this because it is a beautiful concealer. This is their, what is it called? Perfecting Concealer. There's also a corrector as well, which is nice. If you have a quite deep skin, it's definitely on the lighter peach side. It's not really deep orange, which I would love for them to come out with. But the formula on these totally surprised me. I think that you could use the deeper shades for contour no problem. So blendable, very full coverage, and there are 6 different shades in the range, and then you also get that corrector as well. The shades that I have to show you, the deeper one is light bronze, and the lighter one is in the shade light beige, and you get 0.2 ounces in here, or 6 grams of product. I think people can totally overlook brands like Mary Kay and Avon, and they definitely do have some gems in there. So I really, really like these concealers if you are looking for something that has a little bit of a thicker consistency but still very blendable and gives beautiful coverage, or if you're looking for a concealer that you could potentially use to contour and highlight with, these are beautiful. If you are looking for a concealer with insane coverage, the Tarte Shape Tape, no surprise. I mean, this has been talked to death on YouTube, which is absolutely what encouraged me to purchase it. Luckily, I do believe it lives up to the hype. This is an incredibly full coverage concealer, can also be used for contouring, which I have yet to try. If you are Canadian and you want to purchase it because it is an Ulta exclusive, you can purchase it from the Tarte website. They do ship to Canada, thankfully, so you can get your hands on it. Huge old doe foot applicator on this guy, which I don't mind. I just kind of dot it on my skin and blend it out. Be sure to build in light layers because this can 100% be overdone. I think that it definitely dries matte. I always set my concealer no matter what, but if you do have drier skin or normal skin, you can probably get away without setting this with a powder, because if you do put a powder on top of something that's already full coverage, you can add to the cakiness factor. I like to use it with a very, very dense brush or with a beauty blender to blend it out. There's 12 different shades in the line, so they've extended it. I think they originally released like 6 and then released another 6, which is always so nice to see when a brand sees something that is doing well. They release the shades so that everybody can play and conceal their under eyes and contour as they please. This retails for $24 American, 28 Canadian, and I really do like this. It's not the kind of concealer that I will reach for every day, but when I'm filming, if I'm going to an event, if I'm going out at night, if I just want to be super flawless, this guy is serious. Also from Tarte, but that has been around for quite some time, it is the Maracuja Creaseless Concealer. I purchased this guy in the shade Tan with the intention to wear it under my eyes, but definitely better suited to kind of cover up any acne marks on my face anyways for this color. I do, however, use it as a kind of corrector, I guess you would say, every so often under my eyes, and I do like it there too. Because of the Maracuja oil in there, it is a little bit creamier. It claims to have like a radiant finish. It retails for $25 American, 31 Canadian, and in here you're getting 8 grams of product, or 2.8 ounces. I do like this a lot. I think that it has fabulous coverage if you're looking for something with good coverage, but it is very thick. You can overdo it, so just be careful. I love to blend out concealers with my fingers. That's kind of my preferred method. Then maybe blend out the edges with a brush or a sponge. But for me, I love just to blend out under my eyes with my fingers. I find I just get the best application there. Same when spot concealing, because I could just be super precise. I do like this. It has 12 different shades, and I feel like I don't hear anybody talking about it anymore because it has been around for a while, but it is a really nice concealer. From Too Faced, it is their Born This Way concealer. You would have seen this mentioned in my Best in Beauty of 2016. This is a great kind of everyday concealer for me. I love it under the eyes. It's got ingredients like coconut water, maybe something with roses, Alpine Rose I think it is, and then also hyaluronic acid. 10 different shades in there, and it'll retail for 28 American, 31 Canadian. When it first came out, I don't know if it was a glitch or whatever it was, but it was like 38 Canadian, and I was like, guys, that's too much. 31 I, however, can get down with. I wear it in the shade medium tan, which is, when I compare it to other concealers, I don't notice it when I just put it on my skin, but when I compare it to other concealers, a shade like medium tan and what it looks like in the packaging, you would think it has yellow undertones, but as it's listed on the website, it has pink undertones. So when you compare it, it just looks slightly more cool tone. I don't feel like it looks weird on my skin, but when I was getting ready today, I put the Shape Tape under my eyes, and then I was just kind of highlight down the center of my face with this, and it just looked so cool tone. However, it doesn't look weird on your skin. I don't find it translates weirdly on mine. But in this packaging, you are getting 7 milliliters or 2.2 fluid ounces, and you get a doe foot applicator in there, which I love for application than just blending out with my fingers. I haven't tried the Born This Way foundation because it just feels like it's going to be a little bit too hydrating for my skin type. Let me know down below if you, however, have tried it. But I do like this concealer. As I mentioned, I haven't tried it for spot concealing, but it is great under the eyes. Lastly, and definitely up there in the high-end world, is the Dior Fix It 2-in-1 Prime and Conceal Face, Eyes, Lips. I wear mine in the shade 25, which is medium beige. It is a great color match for me. I like to use this to conceal any acne marks or darkness on my skin. It comes with that formula that has like the stick with the kind of like little core in there. But what I also love it for is I'm able to conceal and kind of prime my lids, and then you can also use it as a lip primer as well if you're kind of looking to erase any of the color on your lips. So I think that that makes this super versatile. It's a bit of a creamy formula, but not so much that it's going to slip around. Available at Sephora, and it comes in 3 different shades, so you get a light, a medium, and a deep. So that is definitely limiting, but it also is kind of one of those all-in-one products, but it would of course be nice to have more shades. I'm always a fan of more shades, but the deep shade is quite deep and the light shade is quite light, which I really appreciate. You are, however, only getting 0.12 ounces in here, or 3.5 grams, which is quite small, but you do only need a little bit of product. It blends out beautifully, and if you're looking for something that you can easily throw in your makeup bag for touch-ups if you travel a lot, or if you're just looking for something very versatile because you like to keep your makeup collection a little bit more small and not have like all of this going on, then this is a nice one. So those are all of my favorite high-end concealers. I hope you enjoyed this video. If I left any of your favorites out, be sure to let me know down below because I'm always on the hunt for more. I am a concealer junkie for sure. If you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!